I got to know his family and I got to know him, and it was amazing. And Brent is the most probably sincere person that I have ever met, and I loved it. I got to pray with his dad, which was awesome. Papa Gove. I just love you guys. So, and if you guys have heard Brent speak before, I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good entertaining speaker with a lot of humor? And that Brent brings that to the table every time. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy spending your Tuesday morning with Brent. So Brent, will you just give them a little bit of your background before you jump into our topic? Just kind of tell them who you are and what your background is.
Absolutely. So I've been in real estate for about 27 years now. Started when I was 30. So did about, hey, you guys, hey, I'm started. Just gotta, yeah. So don't mind that. You guys are awesome. We got the art guy here hanging art. Okay, so they're just like jamming around. Okay, let's start over. Okay, so 27 years, got started in real estate, 30 to about 13 years at Remax. Really was very happy there. And then Keller Williams family in 2009, I switched, was at Keller Williams for about 9 years. So did about 22 years at those two big brands, Remax and Keller Williams. I always tell people I liked Remax. Wow, great, but I loved Keller Williams. It was a love. And when I was at Remax, I'm like, what's the difference? There's no difference. They're just different brands. Keller has their, all this training, and I already sell hundreds of homes. So I don't need their training. And so, but in 2009, when the market was really tough, when the market shifted, which is the market we're going into right now, I decided, I'm like, maybe I could learn from those little suckers, those Keller Williams agents drinking the Kool-Aid. So I started going to the business planning clinics. I started going to their listing workshops. I started going to their marketing mastery classes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I switched and I loved my experience. And so when I found EXP 5 years ago, I was not looking for EXP. EXP found me. And it was like a different universe. There was there was love, then there was a whole different universe. And of course, EXP became a multi-billion-dollar company over the last 5 years, debt-free, and it's stratosphere. I always say if Remax was a 5 and Keller Williams was a 10, EXP was 100 for me. So enough with the background, but that's why I ended up at EXP. I'm not going to talk about EXP today. What I'm going to talk about is your kids, your family, your future, how you're doing. So that was that's my story, and it does involve EXP, but we're here to talk to you about business planning. So I'm going to shift and get into that. Was that what you wanted, Andrea? A little bit about me?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I sold 5,000 homes during that process of Keller and Remax and EXP. Then I did retire 4 years ago, and I have not sold a home in 4 years. Now I kind of inspire, motivate, manage, love, support, encourage over 30,000 agents in 21 countries around the globe. That's what I do today. I'm kind of like, if you want to look at me like, well, who am I? I'm like, I'm not a regional owner, but you could look at me as a regional owner in a giant Coldwell Banker or a Remax or a Keller Williams, or in this case, EXP. It's probably the best way, but give it back to you, Andrea. There you go. There's my background.
No, that was it. That was great. Yeah, I just wanted to give them a little bit of background just in case they don't know who you are and what you've accomplished and done, up to this point. And I think your story is just absolutely fascinating, and it probably resonates with a lot of us as well. So, we're heading into a changing market, you guys, and we're feeling it here. I know we're feeling it across the country. We're not seeing as many multiple offers as we've, seen the last couple of years. We're seeing more price reductions happening. We're seeing some offers fall apart and go back on the market. And, this is just the beginning of that. And some of us have maybe lived through that in 2008 when we went through a shifting market then, and some of us maybe haven't. And so whether you have or whether you haven't, either you need to brush up on those skills a little bit and really start with shifting your mindset a tiny bit. Or if you haven't lived through it before, then this is definitely going to be for you and understanding how you're going to deal with that shifting market. So hence the topic today, and Brent taking over.
All right. Well, I cannot wait. All right, let's do it. So we're gonna get you up and going. I can see now. I put my glasses on. It was so blurry, I won't kid you, but I put them on now. You guys are beautiful. You look so good. All right. So we're gonna talk to you about having a breakthrough. We're gonna talk to you about, kicking it into gear and having success. Because who loves struggling? Who loves failure? Who loves it when you're not putting homes in escrow and your spouse, your husband, your wife go, how's it going? You're like, it's going, or you give them 2 or 3 checks. I remember this one time I gave my wife 5 checks. It was a really good month. And we had like $48,000. Who wants to experience that? It was exciting. And she's like, honey, it's so great. I'm going to pay off this credit card. I'm going to pay off that credit card. We're going to pay off the balance on the car. Woohoo! She goes, when's your next closing? I'm like, don't got one. It's so first note I want you to see, I want you to draw a chart. Here is the graph of a real estate agent's life. You ready? I'm excited. I'm depressed. I'm excited. I'm depressed. I'm excited. I'm depressed. That is the life of a real estate agent, because you got 7 in escrow, you got none in escrow. You got 3 in escrow, you got 1, you got 6, you got none, and 2 fall out and stuff. This is my 3rd market correction shift I've lived through. In the 90s, we sold homes in California with pools, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They were expensive. They were like $65,000 a house in California. And so, and it was a lot of money. You had to have a job and $500. And if you had a job and $500, you could have a house. Now, if you wanted a big 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath, granite counters, wood shutters, 3-car garage, big lot, 1/3 of an acre with a pool and the palm trees, that was definitely more. That would run you about $88,000 to $90,000. And that was, it was also $500 because it was HUD homes back in the day. They like, you got $500 on a job, take your pick. And that's what I did in the 90s. I sold homes. You had a job and $500, you're in. I sold a lot of real estate, and the commission on those was 5%, which may sound pretty exciting, but you do 5% of 55 grand. It ain't that exciting. I'd rather have 2.5% and 3% of your $400,000 or $500,000 deals now, you guys. Okay, so here's something I want you to write down. Write down this word. This is the key to your future. If you hang up in 5 minutes, it was worth the whole trip. Ready? Write down this word. This word is the key. Struggle. Write it down, struggle. Listen to me. Look at me deep in the eyes. We all struggle. I get it that you're struggling right now. Maybe it's your marketing. Maybe you're struggling in your marriage. Maybe financially, you're like, this sucks. I'm borrowing money from my brother again. Had one of my biggest real estate breakthroughs when I had to borrow, I think, $2,500 from my big brother. And I was 33. The year before, I'd sold 28 homes. That year, I was selling 48 homes, actually sold 48 homes. But I closed everything I had in escrow because there's a disease in real estate. Write this one down. Ready? It's called escrowitis. You get so many homes in escrow, you're so busy putting on your management cap, not your sales cap, that you're taking care of home inspections and appraisals and disclosures and the addendums and the requests for repairs and all the different stuff that has to happen, the HOA. Oh my God, did they pay for the solar? Is the solar leased? They got to apply for the solar. We didn't know they had to apply for the solar. There's another loan. Oh, now their debt to income ratio is messed up and the lenders and everyone's freaking that. And that's real estate. So anyways, that year I closed everything. And that was the month I gave my wife 5 checks and then I had nothing in escrow. I'm like, if I don't sell something in 2 or 3 weeks in July, and then I don't close it, and then if I close something, sell something next 2 or 3 weeks and it closes end of August, I'm going all summer without money, July and August. I knew what that meant. I got upset. And I set a goal. I set a BHAG, right? There's another acronym for you, BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Write it down. It's called BHAG. And it's a goal that wakes you up at 6 in the morning and it keeps you up at 10 at night. And it was a goal I'm a believer in taking Sundays off and being with your family, being with your husband, being with your wife. Don't work 7 days a week. So many agents work 7 days a week. Well, I can't afford not to. You'll be worse. You'll be at your worst. You come off desperate. You need to rest. Even God Almighty took a day and rested. Now, if the Lord had to rest, you should too. And so take a day off, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday with your family, be with your family. But I told my wife, this one particular situation, I was not okay with it. I said, I'm going to sell 30 homes in 30 days. Didn't have any buyer's agents, didn't have a team, but I understood lead generation because I embraced the word struggle. Back to that word struggle. If you embrace struggle, if you lean into it, write this down. Do not tolerate struggle. Don't tolerate it. Lean into it. God's using that to shape character and perseverance and make you a woman of character, a man of character, of stature, of faith, to be able to look down the gun barrel of creditors and your car getting repossessed, your home, and say, I am not going to take it anymore. We'll get to the business planning part, but I need you to understand this. I got mad at myself. That year I made $400,000 and I still managed to borrow $2,500 from my brother that end of June because I had no money. I didn't want to run my credit cards back up. But so I said, I'm selling 30 homes in 30 days. Forget this, I'm selling 30 homes this year thing. We think so small. Man, why can't you sell a home tomorrow? I'm going to tell you why you cannot sell a home tomorrow. Listen close. The reason you cannot sell a home tomorrow is you don't even have a goal to do it. You can't hit a goal you don't have. You're just thinking, oh God, I want to show some property this weekend. I want to try to get a listing appointment in the next week or two, go on a listing somewhere. It's so nebulous. Write this down. You are a meaningful specific or a wandering generality. Write it down. It's gold. Am I a meaningful specific? Do I have set initiatives, goals with deadlines? Do I have orders to tell myself what to do today? And am I enough of a man? Am I enough of a woman to suck it up? Get on the suck it up bus. Write that down. I will get on the suck it up bus. It's free to get on. It takes courage. It takes huevos. It takes coconuts. It takes some moxie, some fire, some bootstraps, some grit and grime. You know what? None of those take a college degree. None of them take a master's degree. None of them take a PhD. Do you know why today I get to live in the Caribbean? And it's cloudy today. It's not usually it's blue sky, but that's the ocean right there, those trees. That's my house here in the Caribbean. That's the ocean right there. It's beautiful. I'm sad it's not blue sky for you because you would all just go, ooh. And you know why I get to earn $1 million a month, not a year, a month? Here's why. Because I faced my demons. I was willing to risk my ego. Write this down. This is not a capital risk. This is an ego risk. The reason you won't sell a home tomorrow is you're not even thinking about it. It's not even a goal. It's like your kids. If you don't set the goal for them, clean your room or I kill you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But clean your room or you're not going out with your friends this weekend. Now they have a goal. Reward. They want to go out with their friends and have a good time. They're going to clean the room. I don't feel like cleaning. Well, whoever feels like cleaning your room, clean the garage. How messy is your garage right now? How about the car you drove here? If we all went out to your car and I put my thing on Facebook Live, I go, let's see how many cups, how many wrappers, how many Chick-fil-A and Starbucks things we're going to find in your car. Like, how bad is it? Is there a few items or is the entire floorboard on the passenger side like, oh, no, please don't go FaceTime Live my car. Well, why not? Why didn't you quite feel like doing it? Listen to me. If you do real estate on your feelings, you will be of a cup load of pain. Here's what real estate takes to make it. I'm going to give you the how-tos in a second, but I want to go over your mindset. You need a cup of courage. You need some big goals, big dreams. Some of you are so afraid. Your fear factor's here, your dreams are here. You take your dreams here and take your fear here. Like, no, I got fear here. Well, then take your dreams here, man. Make them bigger. Some of your dreams are so small. And so I'm not talking about a mansion and a sports car and a Rolex watch. I'm talking about dreams of Martin Luther King. I have a dream, right? Mother Teresa scooping people off the streets of Calcutta and getting knighted by the Queen of England. Little tiny woman, little Catholic nun. And everybody loves Mother Teresa. Even non-Catholics love Mother Teresa because she cared for people she didn't even know. What do? We step over their bodies in Portland. We step over their bodies in Sacramento, California. I've been to dinner with my wife in downtown Sacramento. I watched a woman defecate on the street in front of us. I was like, oh my God. I'm not used to that. I live out in the suburbs. People don't do that where I live in the suburbs. In downtown Sacramento, downtown Portland, he said, you know what? That's a human being there. And I'm no different than a Pharisee and a Sadducee. I don't want to be like that. Everybody has value. Everybody is important. And so we got to gut check ourselves. So here's the deal. Here's your time. I want you to write this down. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Write that down. 100% responsibility. No more victim. Write this down. I will no longer play the victim. What's the victim? Well, it's the governor. It's the dang mayor of Portland. No, it's me. No. It's the governor of Oregon. No, it's me. I live in California half the year. less than half a year, and my primary residence out here in the Caribbean for tax purposes, and which are really awesome. If you've never checked that out, you should. Okay, but anyway, so I'm struggling out here. It's terrible. You'd hate it out here. But anyways, so but here's the point. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. He destroyed San Francisco, like destroyed it. Now he's the governor of the state. Literally, oh, Gavin's raising taxes and there's all this government. Listen to me. People succeeded when Obama was in office. They succeeded when Reagan was in office. They succeeded when Bush was in office. They succeeded when Trump was in office. They succeeded when Clinton was in office. Yes, vote and be involved politically, but do not blame politics for your situation. You were in the situation you were in, good or bad, because of your actions. You are looking at the problem and the solution. But blaming other people, well, my broker at Coldwell Banker, my broker at Remax, my sales manager at Compass, or my broker at EXP, doesn't matter what company you're from. The second you start saying, well, someone stole my buyer. Nobody stole your buyer. Your buyer went with the Coldwell Banker agent because they did a better job. Stealing your client. Oh, well, I work at Remax and a fellow Remax agent. I had that listing lined up. I'd sold him 3 homes. At the last minute, Bob came in and took my listing. He stole my client. Listen to me. That's a victim. Stop talking like a victim. Nobody stole anything. Somebody gave your client more value than you were able to give. So how do you solve that? You give more value. And how do we do that? Well, we'll talk about how you can give more value today and have lots of clients. So it's pretty cool. Like this picture behind me was $7,000. And I said, I like it, but I don't know if I want to pay $7,000 for it. And the guy's here, he's from the Gallery Art Place here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And he's like, well, what would you like to pay? I go, I pay $5,000 for that picture. I like it. We need like 30 of them throughout this place. Like I'm buying a lot of art. And the walls, we just bought this place a couple months ago and the walls are like empty. And so we have to do that. And he calls his wife, who was the painter. And he goes, how much? And she goes, no, I won't do 5, but I'll do 4. She dropped it to 4,000 less than won't pay, but she goes, buy more art from us and tell your friends. And guess what? It kind of made me like, I like you, And so, don't be afraid to over deliver and under promise. So number 1, take 100% responsible for your life. Number 2, realize struggle. We all struggle. It's okay that you're struggling. It's good. If you're not struggling, you're not going anywhere. If you're struggling, you're feeling resistance. Resistance builds muscle. Okay, resistance is good. It makes you a man. It makes you a woman. It makes you like Eleanor Roosevelt. It makes you like Abraham Lincoln. Everybody struggles. Abraham Lincoln was divorced twice, went bankrupt twice, lost every single political office he ever ran for, except for one, the president of the United States. The year Babe Ruth became the home run king, Babe Ruth, he set the record for striking out. The same year, record holder for striking out, for whiffing. Nobody ever played baseball, softball. It sucks when you strike out. You walk back to the dugout dejected, like I'm a loser, right? And then, but you get a base hit, good. I'm telling you, we don't remember him for striking out. What we remember him for are the home runs. You guys beat yourself up. Write this down. Here's another good one. The enemy is the inner me. You are professional boxers and you whoop, you're like UFC monsters. You're like, oh, why did I say that? It was so stupid. Oh, why did I do that? Why didn't I call them back? Why? And you beat yourself up because you had an uncle, an aunt, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister said, you're stupid. You're fat. You're dumb. You got a low SAT score. I did. I got a 547. You get that for putting your name on the piece of paper. I got rejected by Chico State, the #1 party school in America in the 80s. #1 in America, no bigger. And that's why I chose it. I'm like, let's have a good time. A lot of people want the engineering department, the computer science department, the nursing department, the whatever, deal. A lot of lawyers come out. I'm like, where can I go have the most fun? Now, here's the deal. I got rejected twice. I've never met anyone who was turned down by that school. I read like a freshman in high school, but I got grit. I got moxie. I got fire. I'm willing to risk my chin. I'm willing to risk my ego. And the more you do it. So here's why you're not where you want to be. I'm going to break it down to this. Ready? You are simply not swinging the bat enough with prospects, for buyer prospects and seller prospects. Well, I don't know who to talk to. You don't want it bad enough. See, here's the key to success. Write this one down. Hunger. Hunger. It's the key. Because when you're hungry, you listen to podcasts. When you're hungry, you listen to TED Talks. When you're hungry, you go on YouTube channels. When you're hungry, you read books. When you're hungry, you go to 10X, or this one here is is right. Let's see if I can get it there. That's Tony Robbins right there. Tony Robbins. I paid $150,000 to do this last year, to be a part of his Platinum Partners course. And I got around people who were amazing. I got around Garrett Cardone. I got around TD Jakes. I got around John Maxwell. I just spoke on stage with John Maxwell, but I set goals when I was struggling and I was hungry. And if you're hungry, I can help you. If you're not hungry, you're going to go home and watch The Walking Dead again tonight. How many times can you see someone shoot an arrow to someone's forehead or heart, or pitchfork them or hit them with a hatchet? It's sick. But people who are not hungry, they watch a lot of series. They watch a lot of different shows, and they sit around, they veg out because they, you know what? And so here's something I want you to write down. Frustration is a precursor to breakthrough. Write that down. If you're frustrated here, good. It's a precursor to breakthrough. If you're miserable, God help you. You're in big trouble. If you're here and you're miserable, you're in trouble. By the way, take notes. Scientific fact by Harvard and Yale and Stanford. If you listen to me or anybody, you'll retain 10%. A week from now, what did Brent Gove say? What did Andrea say? What did so-and-so say? You'll return 10%. If you simply write notes, these are my notes. That's notes. What's it say on top? Tony Robbins. What's the first thing he said? Take 100% responsibility. I'm simply teaching you what he taught me. You blame somebody. Well, if my husband would get his act together, we'd have a good marriage. If my wife would say she's sorry, if my wife would just change her behavior, you cannot change your wife. You cannot change your husband, but you can change yours. Okay? You could love and you can forgive. You can, well, they need to forgive first. Oh, how's that going for you? How about you forgive when they don't deserve it? That's called mercy. That's the kind of stuff God does. Kind of learn that stuff. How about love, even when they're not loving? Okay. Listen to me. If you're looking for friends, they're hard to find. But if you go be a friend, they're everywhere. Oh my gosh. If you don't like what you've been getting, then check what you've been given. The more you give, the more you get. The more you love, I love people everywhere. I got people who love me everywhere. People flip me off, I wave at them. Hey, you must know me, right? I mean, he was like, flip me off, I flip you off, road rage. It's like, who's going to be bigger? Are you going to be light in the darkness? Are you going to be hope? Because I'm exaggerating a few things here today to kind of wake you up. But here's the deal. You need to be hope for the hopeless. You need to be light in the darkness. You need to be strong. Leaders lead people where they don't want to go, so they'll ultimately be where they want to be. Look at Moses. He took the Israelites, the Jewish people out of Egypt into the desert for 40 years. They moaned and complained. Why'd you do this to us? And then they're like, once they got the promised land, like, oh, this is awesome. The masses are, Winston Churchill changed the world. He stood up against Parliament and he said, no, we're not signing a treaty with this guy named Hitler, Adolf Hitler. We will not do it. We know who he is, not going to do it. He may honor the treaty for a year, but they don't come get us next year. We're going to continue to fight. And one man, one woman, listen to me. That's you. You're the man. No, I'm not. I'm not like you. I'm not like Andrea. I'm me. Yes, you are. Listen to me. Don't die with your music in you. Sing your song, man. I have failed so much. I've said so much stupid stuff, but I did it I swung the bat so many times, swing. Eventually I got better at swinging. Actually started hitting the ball. Then I started getting some doubles and some triples, then a few home runs, then a few grand slams. But here's the deal. You are where you are today, good or bad, because of how often you swing the bat. Get up to the plate. How do you do that? Hunger. How bad do you want it? Get on planes. I went to Florida. I went to Arizona, I went to Denver, I went to Orlando, I went to Seattle, I went to San Diego. I flew all Las Vegas, Reno, and listened and learned and grew. And it's like a collage, a mosaic, kind of like this picture behind my head, all these beautiful colors and experiences. All of a sudden, you got some moxie, man. All of a sudden, you've been through the storm. And if you're going through hell, just don't stay there, right? You've been through the storm. You come out the other side when the clouds part. Man, I've been there. I've been bankrupted when I was 29. I didn't enjoy that. So I'll say this. The coming market is going to discipline those who can't discipline themselves. That's a zinger. Write that one down. I want you to take it to heart. The coming market. It's my third market correction. The coming economy in everything out of real estate. What's coming? And it's coming. We've been on an 11-year historic boom extended by COVID for what weird things COVID did. And so here's the deal. The market cycles. It's been cycling for 100 years. The real estate market runs in 5 to 7 year cycles. Write that down, 5 to 7. Occasionally it goes 7 to 9. Occasionally. We're on year 11. It's unprecedented. There will be a correction. Now the market's not going to go whoop like it did in 08. Because in 08, we had negative amortization loans. We had stated income. I make $2 million a year. Oh, here, take 5 houses. And they were allowed to check, or it was considered bad, like, what's the word? Discrimination. If you actually check on Andrea's income, does she really make 2 million? They said, state your income, here's a loan, as long as your credit's okay. It was insane. And it created the bubble burst, and then home prices in Sacramento, California, Northern California, where I'm from, we were selling 6-bedroom, 5-bath, brand new homes for $795, 5,000 square feet, 4,800. I mean, it was great. 6-bedroom, 5-bath, big family. They loved it. They come eat them up like hotcakes. By 2011, those same homes were 245, 255. 795 is almost 8, 50% market correction before. We're selling them for 255 and 265. It was like a 68% market correction. That will not happen this time, in my opinion, unless we have a monetary crisis and a collapse of the US dollar and that kind of a fiscal problem. But we have people who have paid cash for homes. We have people who put 50% down. They put down 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. And the people who get loans can actually afford them. So the market's healthier. So we're going to see a correction, but it's going to be more like 10, 20%, maybe 30 tops. And so you're going to sell on the way up, you're going to sell on the way down, but you got to be willing to embrace the struggle. Here's a fun saying I learned 35 years ago. It's not the force of the gale, but the set of your sail that determines your direction in life. I'll say it again. It's not the force of the gale, the storm, whatever hell you're going through right now, financially, maybe your health, physically, maybe relationally, maybe in your real estate practice. It's not the force of the gale, but the set of your sail. What are your goals? What is your vision? What is it you're going to do today? Like, it's 9 a.m. You got all day today, man. You can go shop property today. You could write an offer today. You could get that offer presented tonight. Oh no, they said it'll be 3 days. No, the reason you can't get your offers, I get my offers presented in an hour every time. Every time I get my offers presented in an hour. No, we're not presented. I still get it presented in an hour. The reason I've done it is because I failed so much. I'm the biggest failure on the Zoom screen. I failed. I've risked my ego so much. I failed so much. I learned what didn't work and I stopped doing it. And guess what? I gained wisdom. I'm like, oh, when I do this, it goes, oh, when I do that, it goes, oh, when I do this, bam, I'm going to do that. And all of a sudden, everything I touch is turning into gold. The month I set a goal to sell 30 homes in 30 days, the most homes I'd ever sold in a month were 7. I'm like, will I ever sell 7 homes in a month again? Imagine you guys all sold 7 homes in the past month, closed and got paid 7 times. Let's say they were small commissions, 10 grand each. That's $70,000. What kind of impact would that have in your life? Well, back then when I did it, it had a huge impact too. Things cost less and it was a big deal. But guess what? I went back to my normal selling, which was 3, 4, 5 homes a month, 3, 4, 5 homes a month. I go, man, will I ever get back to 7 or break that record and do 8? And all of a sudden, out of my frustration, remember, frustration is a precursor to breakthrough. I had no homes in escrow, and I was doing well, but I'm like, ran out of escrows. I had escrowitis. So busy closing them, I wasn't filling the hopper with new ones. It made me mad. So I set that goal. Out of my pain, I set a goal, 30 homes, 30 days. I've had enough. Now you can't hit a goal you don't have. Now I had a goal. Guess what? Instead of rolling in the office at 9 or 10, I was up at 6 a.m. going for a walk, having coffee. By 7 a.m. my heart's like, I can sell home today. I can sell home today. Completely new goal, new questions. Okay, if I'm going to sell a home today, how am I going to sell a home today? You guys aren't asking yourself how you're going to sell a home today because you don't have a goal to sell a home. You're thinking like everyone else. Hopefully I'll sell 2 or 3 homes this month. Man, don't sell yourself short. So when I set this goal, I said, okay, if I'm going to sell homes every day, I can show property every day. Every day. I got permission from my wife. Babe, I don't normally do this, but I'm working 30 days in a row. You said God had to rest on the 7th day. I did. But guess what? If you're not going to make your mortgage payment, your rent payment, if your car's going to get repossessed, I'm slobbering. Hold on. I get excited when I start doing this stuff. I start slobbering. Okay. I actually had to swallow. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Whatever. So here's the deal. Listen to me. You can't hit a goal you don't have. New goals create new questions. How will I show property every day? I became so focused on showing somebody somewhere, I don't care, a condo, a duplex, a mansion, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a 7-bedroom, 6-bath custom. I don't care. Somebody's saying something today. And I worked so hard to do it. I started showing property 2 or 3 times a day. Write this down. If they look, they buy. If they look, they buy. You can't sell if you're not showing property. If you're in your head, you're dead. If you're thinking about what you're not doing, you're miserable. Okay. So listen to me. I started showing property every day. And I'm proud to tell you, I epically failed. I didn't even get close to 30. I was a total loser. I didn't even hit half the goal. I sold a mere 14 homes that month. Just 14 homes in a single month. That's it. Total loser. Didn't hit my goal. I doubled my all-time record that I didn't know if I'd ever get back to. What was the difference? I set a new goal. You can't hit a goal you don't have. I never had a goal to sell 30 homes. Aim for the stars, land on the moon. Most of us are wandering generalities. We're aimed nowhere, and therefore we go nowhere. The coming market is going to discipline those who can't discipline themselves. It's time to step up. It's time to dig deep. And so I just want to encourage you. So there's 3 rules that I'm going to get into my business planning part of this. Ready? How are we doing? We doing okay? Is this cool? I just wanted to start with some mindset stuff. Okay, good. Rule number 1, life is not fair. Write that one down. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. I get it. Rule number 1, life is not fair. Just get over it. Some days bad things are going to happen. You need to be resourceful at that point. My daughter called us this morning. Sorry, mom and dad. I was having a headache. I wasn't feeling good. My 22-year-old. We're in the Caribbean. We have a very nice home, and a few of them in Northern California. And she was in our master bedroom. She turned on that tub and she walked away and forgot. And she flooded the living tar out of our house. Oh my gosh. And of course, that particular home we're selling. It was our 2 homes back. We kind of kept it, and kids have been in and out of there. I got teenagers and kids in college, and we moved to this new glamorous home in the foothills. That's pretty nice. And so, but the last home was very nice, and it's going on the market in 3 weeks. And I'm telling you, water coming through the air conditioning vents, the light fixtures downstairs. I mean, it's bad. And I'm like, yippee-ki-yay! This is so awesome. And so, you know what? It sucks. I get it. But, you know, I called a handyman. I said, go to Home Depot, get 10 dryers, rip up all the carpets, rip off all the baseboards, because I've paid service masters enough, $20,000, $30,000 to repair stuff like that. That's all they do. I watch them. They rip all the baseboards off, they rip up the carpet, and they cut out the pad, and they put dryers on there for days and days and days. And so I'm having my handyman do it. And because last time service, your insurance company will pay. Our insurance company's like, we are not paying 30 grand. Brent paid 30 grand for some dryers at Home Depot. Anyways, why am I telling you that? Life is not fair. Whatever. Rule number 2, this is a really important rule. 3 rules. You are entitled to exactly nothing. You are not entitled to an education. You are not entitled to food. You are not entitled to healthcare. It's the biggest bunch of bull crap in the world. You're entitled to what you work for. You know, if you're like, well, someone owes me an education, somebody owes me healthcare, somebody else is paying for it. Okay. You know what? And if you want to give, and trust me, we give. We're rebuilding 100 homes here in Ponce, 100. They got from the Hurricane Maria 5 years ago here, and there's still people whose roofs and windows and electrical and plumbing's jacked up. We've already rebuilt 7 of them. And we're spending like $5,000-$10,000 a house, but you multiply that times 100, it's $500,000 to $1 million. And that's one of about 40 things we're doing. We're involved in water. We're involved in human trafficking. I'm involved in helping the homeless. We have wanted it, and I am willing to spend money, but I don't think taxation is a good thing. So in my opinion, you're entitled to nothing. Quit thinking life owes you something. Life owes you nothing. How's that working for you so far? It doesn't work. You gotta roll up the sleeves and go for it, and quit being worried about your ego. Your ego is the enemy. You're protecting. I don't want to be looked at as that guy, that guy. What? The guy who loves people? The guy who loves people? Rich said, look, I have a goal to sell 7 homes this month. Man, if you know anybody thinking about buying or selling, anybody, man, I would love a referral. In fact, if they list their home with me or buy home through me, what's your favorite restaurant? Joel. And Joel goes, well, I love Morton's. I love Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I love this sushi place. Good. I'll give you a gift card there for $300. You have the most wonderful evening. And I've had so many people come back. I got a listing for you. I got a buyer for you. I go, awesome. They go, don't forget, you said Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I go, I did. And they go, how much was it? They're like $300. I go, done, no problem. And I've gotten huge listings where I made $15,000, $20,000. And I go, how you would do that? But you got to open la boca. You got to open your mouth. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Listen to me. I'm proud of this. Ready? I'm desperate. Oh, baby. You make $1 million a month. Why not? Because I want to make a difference. I don't need to be on the Zoom today. I want to be on the Zoom. I want to challenge your thinking. I want you to do well. I don't know who you are, or if you're with EXP or Global Banker or Remax. You got kids, probably, maybe not. Maybe you got a wife or a husband. Maybe not. Maybe you're single, but you got dreams, you got goals, you got desires and pain and hurt and joy. And I want to add to your life, but I want to challenge you. You are capable of doing more. You were made in the image of God. Now, I'm a Christian. I love Jesus and all that sort of thing. So it's easy for me to say. Some of you are agnostic and atheist. I'm sorry, but that's my personal belief. Some people pray to the stars. I pray to the one who made them. But anyway, so I believe that you were made in the image of God. And they when the scientists, they look at your mind, they've yet to build a computer as powerful as your mind. And it's amazing. They say this has like 100 times the power of the computer that sent a man to the moon, walked around and back. This is 100 times more powerful. Have you taken a class on what it does? You ever seen those EXP hacks on YouTube? Did you know your phone does this? I watch them like, wow, that's pretty cool. Well, you have something 100 times more powerful than what NASA had. And look what they did with that. Well, have you studied this? Because you could run an empire from this. You could be anywhere in the world to do everything you need from the palm of your hand. Have you studied it? Everybody wants to make $500,000 a year, $750,000 a year, $1 million a year in real estate. How much have you invested in books and tapes and Zooms and podcasts and seminars and going to things? So just want to challenge you. So rule number 2, you are entitled to exactly nothing. Rule number 3, no one is coming to rescue you. I just want to be straight up. You got to do this. And you'll have what's called self-respect. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Now, here's the good news. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. You are not stuck being you. Like, how many of you're like the best husband, the best wife, you're the best friend, you're the best agent and wherever you are, you're the best at MLS and appraising homes. That's me. Raise your hand. We will beat you up right now. Listen to me. Nobody is like perfect at everything. Trust me. We're not, right? And so that's okay. And so you can improve, you can get better, but will you? Gets down to hunger. Desperate. I'm desperate. There's needy desperate, bad. A guy who really wants a date or something comes off to you, that's not attractive. But I mean, desperate to make a difference in the world, to be a history maker, to leave your mark on the world for good, not for evil. Stalin, Hitler, bad, evil. But other people who did great things with their life. Look at Rosa Parks standing up. I'm not going to sit in the back of the bus. I'm going to sit up here in the front. Well, it's not that big of a deal. Back then, they drug people off the bus and beat them. I don't want to get drug off a bus and beat. I'm proud of it. The guy in Taiwan Square, when the student uprising in China took off, and the square, Tiananmen Square, and I don't know if this is my favorite human being in the world. It's not Rocky. It's not Tom Cruise, although I'm seeing Top Gun tonight. But it's not Tom Cruise. Ready? It's some dude I don't even know. He was grocery shopping in Tiananmen Square, probably a student, and the tanks came rolling in, and he comes, and they're going to crush the rebellion, and he stands there with 2 bags of groceries, and he stands in front of a freaking Chinese tank with a big, and he stood there. Do you guys remember this? Go find it on YouTube. And they just stop, and then they were coming in a line. Then each tank just went, he stopped 10 tanks. One man with some huevos, one woman with a dream and a vision. The man stopped the communist Chinese. So do you know what happened? Watch the video. The guy at the church goes, and the tracks go, and he goes, I'm going to go around him. I don't want to crush this dude. The tank moves right. And he gets up with his bags, and he goes, he's got his bags, and he scoots over in front of the train. The train tries to go the other way. He scoots over. He stopped. I mean, wow. I don't know if I'd have that kind of courage. I don't know. Do you guys have to do that? No. You have to help Bob and Jenny buy a house in Salem. You got to help Tim and Karen sell their home in Portland because they want to move to Boise or Coeur d'Alene. Listen to me. We're not splitting atoms. We're not launching satellites into space, giving the world internet. We are trying to help people who want to buy homes, and people sell homes. You are simply not succeeding to the level you want to. You do not swing the bat enough because you don't have a goal. I'm going to talk to 50 people tomorrow. Well, that's kind of extreme. Well, so is losing your house. So is having financial pain. So is bouncing out of real estate and getting a job at Sears, which doesn't even exist anymore, in the the freaking washing machine department, because you couldn't discipline yourself. If you can't discipline yourself, somebody else will. Somebody else will tell you when to be there. Be there at 8. Don't leave at 5. Your parents' 50th wedding anniversary? Don't think so. Your vacation pays up. You're not going to be there. Your son's graduation, you're out of vacation time. You tell yourself what to do. Freedom. It's not free. You got to pay the price. But I'm not talking about some crazy price. So total immersion is how you get there. Everybody wants external success. It starts with internal success. What are you doing to work on you? Write that one down. It starts with internal success. Don't make me growl at you guys. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. You're so lucky. I've not had 2 cups of Puerto Rican coffee. I live in Puerto Rico. So here's the deal. St. Thomas is right there. It's so awesome. So here's the deal. It's time. Quit playing around. It's your life we're talking about and the chance to impact and love others. So I want to give you one bit of advice. Stop giving your problems energy. Write that one down. Give your dreams energy. Quit giving so much energy to your problems. Man, energy. It's something you create inside. You don't need to drink alcohol. You don't need to take drugs. Step up. Listen to music. Get your state right. Baby cries and cries and cries. We put it in the car seat, take it for a drive at 2 a.m. It stops crying. Why? You change the state. You took it out of a warm house in a freezing cold driveway, got it in the car. They get in the car seat. They start looking around and they fall asleep because they got out of there. They were in a bad cycle. Because here, listen to me. Sometimes you're sad because you're feeling sad. And then you're feeling sad because you're feeling sad that you're feeling sad. You got to stop it. 12 years ago, I had a problem with, actually went to a psychiatrist, and I had claustrophobia, and I panicked in an elevator, and I was so bad. I just started freaking out, and never had to do a panic attack. And my mom had them, 30 years ago. I'm 19 or whatever, 23. I'm like, panic attack? What's that? I mean, don't panic. I'm like, people have panic attacks are weak. I'm like, I just panic attack, really? I mean, I had a panic attack. You feel like you're going to imminent death. I'm like, I'd rather go outside and face 10 Hells Angels with bats and them swing at me than feel the way I feel right now. I had a freaking panic attack. It's scary. It scared me so bad. I go, I got to fly to Lafayette, Louisiana in a jet. And I feel like I will get up and open the door in mid-flight because I want out of the jet. So that is a problem. Who wants to fly with that passenger? That was me. I told the psychiatrist, I want to get up and open the door at 40,000 feet. That's a problem. That was 12 years ago. Okay, we're not going to do that. He says, here's what you're doing. You're focused on the problem. You're giving your problem energy. He goes, stop thinking about how you're just, and it hits your heart. He goes, think about Switzerland. Then think about Heidi in the movie Heidi. Remember that little girl who played the movie Heidi in Switzerland, the Swiss Alps? And then think of some Swiss chalet. Then think of snow skiing. Then think of Alta, Snowbird, Utah. Think of Vail, Steamboat. Think of Wyoming. Now I'm thinking of Jackson Hole. Now I'm thinking of Yellowstone. Now I'm thinking of grizzly bears and Old Faithful. I remember how my grandpa taught me to fly fish on the Madison River. Get your mind off what's going bad. And guess what? I use that mental technique. Never had a problem since, because I don't even really have the issue anymore. But when I would feel it start to come on, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to think of Europe. And now I'm thinking of Iran and nuclear weapons. And now I'm thinking of people who created nuclear energy. And now I'm thinking of Newton, and I'm thinking of Einstein, Albert Einstein. And now I'm thinking of Benjamin Franklin. I'm thinking of old people, George Washington. Now I'm thinking of Rome and ancient Rome. Now I'm thinking of Colin. I'm thinking of Gladiator. I'm thinking of Russell Crowe. Skip away. Control your thoughts. Take control of your thoughts. Do not sit there and obsess on your problems. Stop feeding your problems energy. Literally, stop thinking about it. Deal with it. But if you obsess and feed it energy, you get more of what you focus on. Got a bad marriage? Focus on it. It'll probably get worse and worse. Now focus on being loving. Maybe when your spouse or somebody doesn't deserve it. Don't you want grace? When I screw up, do I want you guys to have grace for me? Yeah, exactly. Like he slobbered really bad earlier, but we still love him. We don't know why we love him, but we love him. He's like Hooch, the Tom Hanks, that movie Hooch. You ever see that dog? He slobbers, but he's a happy dog. Anyway, so I get excited. I slobber. It's okay. I'm like the guy on the couch is cracking up. Man, I'm singing my song. I really don't care. I love you guys. You can love me or not love me back. I love you. It's okay. That's my job. My job is to respond well and love people in this world, to be light in the darkness, hope for the hopeless. Now, ready for this? We're gonna actually get to the business planning of this. My business planning notes. Here they are. Business planning. Ready? I prepared for this last week. I was so excited. So number one, you got to write this down. What, again, I never finished that thought. If you, maybe I did. If you listen to me, you're going to retain 10%. If you simply write down notes, you retain 50 to 60% of what I'm saying. I fill up these things, fill them up with notes. I have stacks and stacks of notes. I write down everything. I just write as quick as I can. 50 or 60% retention just because I'm writing stuff down. And then you share it with somebody. Thank you, Andrea. I see that. Then you share it with somebody. Teach it to your kids. I pay my kids $500 a book to read books. $500. You want money for Disneyland? You want money for gas? I'll give you $500 to read Dale Carnegie's How to Influence People. I give you $500 to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I give you $500 to read Greatest Salesman in the World. I believe in that so much more than college. College teaches you how to get a job, man. What's a job? Just over broke. It's where you trade your dreams and goals in life for a freaking paycheck. And so I want to challenge you guys. I want to challenge you, man. What are you reading? What are you listening to? I put my money where my mouth is with my kids. They love reading books. I'm like happy to pay them the $500. And guess what? My kids own homes. My kids have hundreds of thousands of dollars of the real estate because my kids read books that their daddy tells them to read by some of the greatest men and women have ever walked the planet. I don't let them watch, I'm sure they watch some crud on Hulu and Amazon and Netflix, but I'm not, I'm all about, come on, man, this is your life. I tell my kids, fail, man, fail. Put your chin out there, fail with gusto, do it a lot, do it while you're young. Try this, try that, try this, try this, do it. Get out there and fail. We're so worried. I don't want to look bad. Looking bad is how you get to looking good. You're going to pay the price. Come on, man. Somebody like, well, I don't want to be that guy. Be out there, love. It's okay. I was willing to look stupid. And now when I talk to people, you're like, God, so good. Because I look stupid so much. But I swing and I swing and I swing. You want to play tennis once a year? You probably won't be that good. Play tennis every day for the next 30 days. You'll be great. Snow ski every day for the next 30 days. Kite surf every day for the next 30 days. You got to swing the bat. You got to do it every day. We'll take a day off, take Sundays off. Okay. So number one, a business plan. If you plan to fail, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I said that wrong. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. In other words, if you have no goal and vision, you're going nowhere. You're that wandering generality that Zig Ziglar talks about. Zig Ziglar, one of my mentors in life. I love Zig Ziglar. Look about it. It's amazing. You're the wandering generality or meaningful specific. I am a meaningful specific. I set goals for my kids, goals for my wife, goals for my health, goals for my finances, goals for my business, goals, all kinds of goals for giving. I have giving goals, like what kind of things I want to do, how I want to impact the world, man. And so can you. Like, oh, good for you, Brent. No, good for you. You can do this. But listen to me, if you don't think you can, you're probably right. Man, you do not die with your music on. I'm singing my song today. I'm letting it rip. You guys like, well, so what do I look like? That's called narcissism. Stop worrying about what you look like and start loving. Who are the most attractive people in the world? They walk up and go, Andrea, how are you? And they come up to you. Janine, how are you, Janine? Joel, what's up? Hi, Halsey. Sarah, what's up, Sarah? And they take the time to remember your name and they walk up to you. And they come here, join us. Join us for lunch. Come to dinner. Hey, we're going to Top Gun tonight. You want to see Top Gun with us? They're inclusive. They're not exclusive. Well, I don't want to be like, be love, you get love. You want to experience joy? Love people. Give. My brother's calling me. Hey, isn't that sweet? There he is, Randy Gove. Oh, well. Oh, there's that. Look at my coach is next. Jarek, you know who that is? That's Jarek Robbins. You ever heard of Tony Robbins? That's his son. He's my coach. Pay him $10,000 a month to coach me. We talk every week for an hour. He's brilliant. Like, I'm blown away. It's worth every penny of the 10 grand. You know what I mean? And so I used to pay people $50, $200, $300. Start where you could start. But I want to have a big impact on the world. It's not about more stuff. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail by definition. So number one, what do you want? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. Why are you doing real estate? Why are you willing to suffer? Why is it? Like right now, I'm losing weight, and Jarek's helping me lose weight because I'm a big guy, 6'2" and way more than I should. And so he's coaching me on losing weight. And I've decided that it's worth a lot of money to me to be fit and to not die of a heart attack and stroke and become a diabetic. Because I have a friend who died this weekend who had a stroke 4 years ago and spent 4 years in a bed, and he died this weekend. It's very sad. But I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have a stroke. I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to have diabetes. I don't want to be healthy. I want to look good. I don't want to delete my pictures on Facebook. Yes, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, it's like, oh my God, could you have gotten a worse picture? So I do have some vanity in me too, but you know what I mean? But like, do something about it. Hire a coach, go to a class, whatever. Okay, so number one, what do you want? Do you want to not be in pain financially? Do you want to have money in the bank and not worry about your house payment? You want to be able to make 2 house payments every month and pay that sucker off, not in half the time, but in a 33% of the time. It takes 10 years instead of 30. Well, I'm paying half. Shouldn't it take 15 years? No, compounding interest. You're going to pay it off really quick. But you're not going to do that because you don't even have a goal to do it. You got to think bigger. Being debt-free is not a bad thing. Owning your cars is not a bad thing. Number one reason for divorce is financial stress. So you are capable of doing this. I don't know if you're willing to do it. I was willing. I said, I'm willing to make a fool of myself. What's a script? Listen to me. Yeah, you need a script. You need to know what to say. I'll give you that. But listen to me. They don't listen to the words. They listen to the music. It's not what you say. It's how you say what you say. Like some people, I use a script, but no one's responding because you sound like a freaking robot. Authenticity. What you feel for me today is authenticity. That's why everybody's still on Zoom. Not one person's gotten off, and we were supposed to be done 10 minutes ago. Nobody's gotten off because you're like, this dude's laying it all out. He's being authentic. It resonates with people. Now someone's going to get off the Zoom. I'll show him. I'm off. But anyways, that's the rebellion. Not rebellious. If you got to go, you're not rebellious. We love you. But anyways, some people are just rebels. Like, screw this, I'm out. But here's the deal. Authenticity. If you're not selling homes and getting buyers to stick with you and sellers stick with you, you're not authentic. You're speaking from here. Stop speaking from here. Speak from here. Speak from the heart. Speak from the heart. People love it. It resonates with them. So what do you want, man? A home, a car, debt-free, help the homeless, feed the hungry people, bring fresh water. What do you want? Spend some time. I've gone away for 8 hours at a time with a yellow notepad and just thought. Oh, where's all my notes? Oh, there they are. You just get a nice notepad like this and you just get a pen and you start design a life, because if you don't, somebody will. They're going to design a life for you. Okay. You either building somebody's dream or you're building your own. You can build your own dream or you will be hired to build somebody else's, to be a cog in the wheel at AT&T, to be a cog in the wheel at Hewlett Packard or Apple or Microsoft. So what do you want? Number two, what are you willing to give up? This is a really important question. What are you willing to give up? TV, alcohol, drugs, harmful friends. Whoa, what do you mean harmful friends? The ones who just put down humor, the ones who relentlessly tease you in a bad way. That's just another way for putting you down. Oh, they're just making fun of me. Come on, I got some thick skin. No, you need to get away from that. I don't make fun of my friends. Chiding and teasing a little bit is one thing, but you know what I mean. Put down humor. I could name a guy right now. I don't spend any time with him because every time, even now, he'll rib me. He'll say stuff. He knows just how to get. I don't hang out with him on purpose. My inner circle loves and supports me. And I have people I'm on there. I love it. I got their back. They call me at 3 a.m. A friend of mine called me this weekend and I'm fishing around. He had 8 homes in escrow. Pretty good. I go, so everything's good. He goes, I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm kind of out of dough. And I'm like, dude. And I go, go to my house. And I told him where I had thousands and thousands of thousands and thousands of dollars. Just go get it. Scrap whatever's there. Count it up. Tell me how much it is and give it back to me in the next month or two. But that's the kind of person, guess what? When I was separated from my wife 12 years ago, we've been married 30 years. But we went through a hard patch in 2010 in the crash. I lived at his house. He and his wife took me in. They moved one of their kids out of their bedroom, Gary's bedroom. I got Gary's bedroom. I slept in Gary's bedroom. Gary slept with his brother, Andrew. And you know what? If that guy wants my car or my house or my cash, he's got it. I'm on his inner circle. He's got my back. And I got his back. So who's on your inner circle? Have you crafted one? Who you set a goal to hang out with? Who inspires you? Man, Francis Chan inspires me. Lance Wallnau inspires me. TD Jakes inspires me. Who inspires you, man? Set a goal. How would I do that? I hang out with Tony Robbins now. I hang out with Grant Cardone. He's quite a character on stage. In person, he's really a neat guy in person. Stage persona's kind of aggressive and wild and a bit much for my taste. But I go to his events and I met some incredible people that were just like mind blowing. Gary Brecka is going to change the face of humanity. Met him at 10X with Grant Cardone. Google that name, Gary Brecka, Brecka. He was at a mastermind he was doing last month. And there, John Maxwell's going to be there and all these different people. And I'm like, oh, wow, some good people. It's $35,000 to go. And then they go, oh, and Gary Brecka's going to be there. I go, Gary Brecka's going to be there? I couldn't spend $35,000 quick enough to go to a 3-day event. $35,000. That's expensive. I was there. But guess what? I met him at 10X. So I'm like, well, I don't like Tony Robbins. I don't like Grant. I'm not into John Maxwell. It's who you meet at these events. These people want to grow. They want to change. They're hungry. And so what are you willing to give up? What is it? Are you on Instagram? Are you on social media all the time? Man, if you want something to change, something's got to change. You keep doing what you've been doing, you keep getting what you've been getting. Make some radical changes to your lifestyle, right? I radically altered my diet and just lost 25 pounds. Drinking a ton of water, I radically altered my diet. Do I like it? No. Do I want to eat pizza and hamburgers? Yes. Do I eat pizza and hamburgers anymore? No. Does it suck? Yes. But I'm on the suck it up bus. I'm on the struggle, but I'm willing to struggle, man. It ain't easy. I got a coach. I talk to people every day. I struggle too, man. I have different struggles. We all struggle, right? Number 3, how will you capitalize your business? Well, I thought you said this wasn't a capital risk. It isn't. It's an ego risk. You could solve your problems just by swinging the bat enough and prospecting and talking to 10, 20. How will I do? Set the goal. I'm talking to 30 people a day. Like, how do I do that? I don't know. Ask yourself, how could I possibly meet 30 people a day and pop the question? Hey, I have a goal to sell 5 homes this month. Do you know anybody thinking about buying or selling real estate? Man, I'd love it. If you give me a referral, anybody, man, I'll send you your favorite restaurant. Ask them, Andrea, where's your favorite? Like, Andrea, I'm going to ask you right now for real. Unmute yourself. Where's your favorite restaurant in the world? If you could go to any restaurant, like I have Makuni's Sushi. It's actually my favorite. It's a sushi place. I love Makuni's. I dream about Makuni. But how about you? What do you like?
That's hard. Actually, the restaurant that was my favorite restaurant closed down a few years ago. It was called Sakura's up in Tacoma. And we used to go there for every birthday. And it was a cook in front of you, like Japanese restaurant. And they'd cook on the big grills.
Let's pretend it's still open. I'm giving you, and she's going to give me a really good referrals, I can tell. High end. I'm giving you a $500 gift card to Sakura's. Would you have been interested? Write this down. WIFM. You know what that is? WIFM. It's the greatest radio station in the world. The most successful radio station the world has ever seen. WIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for her is if she gives me a listing lead that I actually list their home and make $10, $15, $20,000, or she gives me a buyer where they go buy something, I make $10, $15, $20,000 or 30 or 40. She's going to get to go have an amazing deal at Sakura's where she loves to go. A $500 gift card. Could that done some damage for you there? Could you bring your friends and have a good time? See, I'm giving her something. I'm just saying, hey, do you have a referral for me? Give them some. My hairdresser worked for a year to give me a listing. She finally, I got one. I go, you got what? My neighbor, they're going to list their home with you. I go, I've never met them. She goes, I told them enough about you. They go over, they list a home with you today. I go, really? She, yeah, don't forget, $300 gift card to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, right? I go, oh yeah, I totally forgot. So, but I told her, she didn't forget. She'd never been to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. She couldn't afford Ruth Chris Steakhouse. She, WIFM, there's something in it from her. Now she gets to go to a place she's always wanted to go with her husband, but they don't make a lot of money, right? She's cutting hair. And she worked for a year to give me that referral, and I give her the gift card. So that's the important thing. But what are you willing to capitalize your business? Listen to me. I bet you some teenagers have spent more money on their lawn mowing business than you have your real estate business. They bought a truck for the lawnmower. They bought a lawnmower. They bought a weed eater. They bought a blower. They bought this, that. Then they bought a little trailer because now they're cutting so much debris. Hey, we need a trailer. You spend $1,500 on a trailer to throw all the bushes on the reach and run to the dump and blah, blah, blah. I bet you some kids have spent more money on their mow and blow business. I have my son's friends, they spend $1,500 a month on gas to mow lawns. Do you spend $1,500 a month on your real estate practice? Like I talked about coaching, you went 10,000, that's ridiculous. Well, how about you spend 500? Oh, that's too much money. Really? Because these kids spend like 1,200, $1,500 on gas. They don't think it's too much money. So have you capitalized your business? Is it like if you owned an Italian restaurant, it could be $100,000. Go find a way to generate $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You don't need a lot, but get some capital. I don't have any signs. I don't have a website. I don't have this. I can't hire an assistant. Why? Because you didn't capitalize your business. So don't be afraid to capitalize. People capitalize college. They borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college for what? A job? They capitalize college and they're in debt for decades. Some of them never get out of it. A friend of mine kept taking student loans and he never did graduate from this college. And they doubled and tripled and quadrupled. You can't bankrupt out of them. You can't get away. And he works for cash and he's just given up on life because he owes $250,000 in student loans now. And I think he only borrowed like 90,000, but it's $250,000 now. Some outrageous amount of money. He can't bankrupt out of it. He can't get out of it. And it's changed his life forever in such a bad way. So don't be afraid to capitalize your business. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30,000 could do miracles. Most people don't even do that. Number 4, how much money do you want to earn? Ask yourself some questions. Become a meaningful specific. What is your target? Do you want to make $100,000? Do you want to make 400? Do you want to make 200? Do you want to make 300? Do you want to make 800? You want to make 1.5 million? What is it you'd like to make? And you write down that number. And then number 5, I hope you're writing this stuff down. You ain't going to remember it if you're looking at me. Take the income number. Let's say it's $400,000 for gigs and giggles, and then divide it by 2,000 hours, which is a full-time. That's a full-time effort at real estate. So I have my calculator right now. I don't even know what that is. Oh, Jarek's calling me. Shoot, I went way over. Hey, buddy, I'm just hopping off a Zoom. I thought it was 1:45. I'll be right there. I apologize. I'm staring at like 10 people right now or more. I'll call you soon. All right, thanks. Bye. Oops. All right, so we'll do this. 400,000 divided by 2,000 hours. Oh, shoot, I went too fast. Now I'm trying to hurry. 400,000 divided by 2,000 hours equals $200 an hour. If you make 400,000 a year, you make $200 an hour. Let's say you only, well, my goal is only to make 200,000. Well, that'd be $100 an hour. So do you have an assistant? Because they're $20 an hour. Well, I can't afford one. You're doing $20 an hour work when you're a $100 an hour person. 200,000 a year is 100 an hour. 400,000 a year is 200 an hour. 600,000 a year, 300 an hour. Are you at 300 an hour? You make, we're 800,000 a year, 400 an hour. Some of you make a lot of money and you don't even have an assistant. My life radically changed when I hired my first assistant. She was praying for a job and I was praying for an assistant. I started 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 hours a day. And I started off really small. I go, let's try it for 90 days. And I made a list of things for her to do because she's sitting there for 4 hours. Call the roofer, call the title company, call the Jones, set up a signing, check on the disclosures from this agent on Hollow Drive, check with the dry rot repair company, call the electrician, call the plumber, call the stager, call the sign person, call the photographer, call the stuff that we do that you think you have to do that you do not need to do. But you're not capitalized, can't afford to pay someone $1,200 a month for 3 months, $3,600 because you're not capitalized. So you're doing it yourself. And then you forget to call the big buyer, the big seller, and you lose a $10, $15, $20,000 commission, but you save $1,200 because you're thinking so small. Stop being penny wise and pound foolish. So, wow, I definitely got carried away here and run out of time. But I want you to, I'm going to send, I have a workbook I created with these questions. I'm send it to Andrea. If you want it, reach out to Andrea, and it's got them all there, and it's got lines where you actually answer the questions of these things. It's my little business planning handbook, but it's to give you goals with deadlines and to get you focused. And then you once you set a goal, you're going to figure out how are the lead generation that you're going to do. And I'll read you this and we'll cut it short. But on my lead generation section here, I come up to, seek a model to copy. Find somebody who's doing open houses and killing it. The radio, YouTube, podcast, Facebook marketing, Zillow, KV Core, door knocking, expireds for sale by owner, by referral only, farming. There are so many different ways. And then you find someone you copy. I copied somebody on my open houses. And in 1 year, I sold 300 homes alone from open houses. You ever met anyone who sold 300 homes from open houses? How about 300 in 1 year? I sold 318 in a single year. So I found someone who had the best model, and I just point blank copied them. It wasn't copyrighted. Then I found the #1 Coldwell Banker agent in the world living in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I flew to Oklahoma, drove 2 hours to Lawton and watched what he did for a day. I shouted at him and I copied his radio program. And then guess what? I became a guy who had people calling me every day. Come list my home, 6%, right? Come list my home. I hear you on the radio. You're amazing. Come list my home, 6%, right? Yeah, sure, 6%. Go list their home. How many people to call you every day to list home? Well, I got my butt on a plane and flew and copied a model. I copied an open house model. Then I copied a team building model from the #1 Remax agent in the world, Craig Proctor. I flew to Toronto and he was selling 600 homes a year. And he taught me how to sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Actually passed him. And I copied the model. So you got to find something and then you got to master lead generation. That's the model, because you have people calling you every day. You list homes, but you don't have people calling you because you haven't mastered lead generation. Anyways, I've got to go. I got Jarek. I completely lost track of time. So my apologies. They were hanging more pictures in the office. So I'm out here in my dining room. And anyways, no clocks. And I hope this was good. I hope this was helpful. Cool, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Brent. I appreciate you bringing the energy and bringing your knowledge and just pouring into all of us for the last hour. And I will get that workbook from you. I'll get it sent out to everybody. I've had a couple people messaging me asking for that. So we'll get it sent out to all of you guys requesting it. And Brent, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you jumping on here and pouring into
guys. Go be awesome. Love you guys. Mwah.
Bye, Brent.
See ya.